And this broadcast brought to you by 106th Street Tire and Wheel. Get your automotive stuff done at 106th Street Tire and Wheel, located in Corona, New York, 11368. It is official, boys and girls. The mush is officially gone from the history of True to New York. I called it from the beginning. The Los Angeles Rams have won Super Bowl 56. We are now going to take that picture, put in Chet's face, and call it a night. Have a good night, Louis DiMartino. Win Super Bowl 56. Called it from the beginning. What is up?
Hi, Lonnie.
Ooh, okay, I had to get that out of my system, guys.
I'm just going to steal Ian's thunder instead of yelling.
I had to get that out of my system. I called it from day one, and I'm going to curse. I'm sorry if the kids, there's only 2 people watching at the moment. You motherfuckers. Called it from day one. The Los Angeles Rams take it down. I told you Matt Stafford was going to come in the clutch. All I had to do was get rid of this Detroit Lions team. He came up big paws. He beat Joe Burrow.
Huh?
Yeah,
came through the clutch, huh?
He scored a winning drive touchdown with a minute to go, Chet.
You want to thank the refs for the last 2 minutes for the 3 penalties that maybe one might have been a penalty out of 3?
There was a face mask call on the second half. That was in favor of the Bengals.
You can't bring up the penalties and not bring up T. Higgins almost ripping.
I said that.
This is the man that said the Bengals were going to blow them out. So I don't know why you guys are putting value on his words.
The calls go both ways. I mean, that call that should have.
My thing is, I guess I say what calls.
We want that, Chet. You want the last game of the year to be penalty free. You want them to play the game of football. I actually glad that T. Higgins got that touchdown there because you know why? It amped up the Rams even more after allowing that. Because how many touchdowns did they score after that first play on that opening drive in the second half? 0. They didn't score any other touchdowns. That game was over after the fact.
Ian got
get your earplugs. That's right. Because I'm excited.
I already covered you yelling, Ian.
I can't wait till you change that picture. Because I called it. I'm so happy.
This is what happens when a mush gets one thing right.
Right, exactly.
This is what happens.
Even a clock is right twice today. Even a broken clock is right twice.
I'm gonna go even more into that. It honestly came down to what I said on the show on Sunday. The Rams front 7 proved to be way too much in the second half for that Cincinnati offensive line. They could not protect Joe Burrow. I've been listening for the last 2 days. You know who they're comparing Joe Burrow now? Andrew Luck. They're saying Joe Burrow is going to be out of this week if he does not get protection. No, and they don't mean it in a bad way. If they don't start protecting him, this kid, he got sacked 17 times in the last 2 games of the season.
Yeah.
That O-line didn't do
Nobody felt sorry for Eli, so why am I feeling sorry for Joe Burrow?
Well, that's what's going to make this Bengals team a really good team over the next couple of years is if, one, they have the same trouble that the Giants are having, and they need an O-lineman or 2 to really protect Joe Burrow. Because if you leave Joe Burrow by himself, that is a dangerous man to be playing quarterback. And 2, you need somebody to replace Eli Apple. It's the same reason why the Giants let go of Eli Apple, even though he was a first-round pick. That guy couldn't cover Cooper Kupp if his life depended on it.
Eli Apple got so much trolling done to him by NFL players and everybody.
He's the guy that opened his mouth. Let me cover OBJ. Let me do this. Let me do that. And
man.
That's why it's 10 times worse.
Listen, at the end of the day, he did his job terribly, and he got to go home with that.
Oh man!
Well, listen, but let's not jump the gun though. The AFC is stacked, so Joe Burrow might have a little bit of problem getting back to where he thinks he's going.
If you think Pat Mahomes gonna allow that,
Josh Allen's gonna allow that.
The Rams have a better shot of being back there next year than the Bengals do because that is how loaded that division is.
You don't think that the Chiefs or the Bills are going to be coming out firing guns a-blazing after losing? It's going to be insane.
The Chiefs, the Bills, you have the Raiders who were a first-round exit this year, the Chargers who didn't even make the playoffs this year. You got
the Patriots,
right?
No, we got a lot of teams. You're right.
No, the AFC is stacked.
But I know one team that won't be there.
Listen,
Dang.
We got to remember this is a true New York sports, okay? There is no shitting on the New York Jets every single time we are true New York sports for a reason, okay? You shit on them.
Well, just because we're true to New York sports don't mean that, we're going to embarrass ourselves by trying to big up a team that don't deserve it. You know what I'm saying? So,
you know what?
Listen, I can see
What's up, Bill?
If I was bigging up the Jets right now,
Bill?
I said nothing about the Jets. I'm going to continue to wear my Jets.
The Jets are not in as bad a position as everybody thinks they are either. And that's coming from a Giant fan. The Jets are going to be okay. The Jets are heading in the right direction.
I even think the Giants are heading in the right direction with the new staff.
Absolutely.
I think the Giants are heading. And
we'll have to see what they do with the O-line. I don't want to hear any of that.
No, but you know what though? As much as I thought Joe Judge was going to be the answer to our prayers as a Giants fan, this Bill seems like a good dude. He just seems like a legit good dude who has a good head. I'm not
falling for that.
From an organization that has been successful over the last 4 years, it's hard to not think like at least he was a part of that. Joe Judge was a part of the Patriots special team.
Yeah,
okay?
and he went back to the Patriots.
And now he's back as the offensive assistant.
That's going to hurt Mac Jones.
I have more confidence in Brian Dable because Joe Shane chose him.
I agree with that. I agree.
My first bridge of confidence to this new Giant regime was Joe Shane, and seeing he has a track record of fixing exactly what is wrong with the New York Giants right now, and that's the salary cap situation first and foremost, because that's the foundation of the Giants' problems.
Get the fuck rid of Galladay.
Shane went in there with Brian Beane, and they solved that problem in Buffalo in 2 years, and that's what we needed. That's what the Giants need done.
They said they're going to clear a lot of cap, so.
Yo, Bill, if Kyler Murray actually went to the Cowboys, he's undefeated in that stadium. That wouldn't be a bad thing for them. That would not. If I was a Cowboys, I would trade for Kyler Murray in a heartbeat.
Well, I'm glad he brought that up real quick. Shame on them for discrediting that guy like that. That organization has hit a new low. I mean, nothing in the media, nothing in the locker room, and all of a sudden, out of the organization, you're going to say, oh, all of a sudden, this guy's a bad guy? Come on, bro. That is just tacky as hell.
You know who I blame for that? I blame the head coach. Because if you have to have you have to set your locker room to let certain things be taken care of in-house. And everybody knows certain things should be taken care of in-house. That is a coach. Cliff Kingsbury obviously does not have full control of his locker room.
Correct.
Stuff like that, you didn't look what Lawrence Taylor did. You never heard anything coming out of the Giants locker room while he was playing. Look back at the '86 Mets, what was going on in that dugout. Hell,
oh, you mean with Darryl Strawberry?
Nobody knew Matt Harvey was doing cocaine and Percocets.
Yeah, right.
I was going to say, you want to look back at the 1986 Mets? Wasn't Darryl Strawberry picking out females in the middle of games and having sex with them in the back?
But again, they kept matters in-house, and they took care of that. And obviously, that does not go on with the Cardinals, and that's Cliff Kingsbury's fault.
But it didn't come out of the locker room, though. It came out of ownership.
No, there were players. There were quotes from players, too, saying that today I just read another one saying that the playoff loss to the Rams, he refused to go back in the game at the end. He was like, I'm done. This is over. That came off the sidelines.
No, the coach said that.
Yeah.
The coach said that he said it came. But why would the coach report that? Like, piggybacking on what you said, if that was something that happened on the sidelines, it should have never hit the media's ear.
That whole mess there starts with the structure of the organization, the coach and the general manager. There's no authority. And that's the problem when you bring in a lot of these young hotshot coaches, from college and stuff like that. A lot of them don't get that done, and that's why they have the problems. I mean, Joe Judge did a poor job of doing it as well. But you have guys, you just saw two guys that have done an excellent job. Sean McVay, Zach Taylor, they have their locker room, they have things set and they have things done the right way.
That's true.
Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco, these guys take control of their locker rooms. And that's another one. That's a number one key there. Yeah.
What did you guys think of the Super Bowl overall? Boogie, we'll start with you. Well, actually, I want to show everybody what Boogie looked like on Sunday. This was Boogie the entire time.
Oh, Lord.
Well, I knew that was on the way.
Oh,
that was on the way.
That was Boogie the entire time on Sunday. But
half time and after.
That's I mean after. But
That's not
Boogie,
bad.
from what you remember of the Super Bowl, what did you remember of the game? Did you think it was a good Super Bowl overall?
It was definitely a good Super Bowl. It was a low scoring Super Bowl, like I predicted. Also too, Cup definitely couldn't be contained, but he did not go crazy and have over that 106 average. So, props to me on getting that prop bet correct. So we might as well be not. We're talking about it right now. Let's just play that touchdown drive that Stafford did to give them the lead for good, and just see how special Cooper Kupp really is, man.
Caught, and about a 9-yard gain. He goes to Bryson.
And during this point of the game, I said Matt Stafford's going to bring this ball down the field. This secondary can't contain Matt Stafford.
Can he get
Oh, by the way,
first down?
congratulations to Cam
No.
Akers on a
And here
great
comes a
13
huge
yards
play.
rushing the entire game.
Hey, I
Let's
called
roll
that
ball,
too.
baby.
He's going to get it. And more.
Look, Cup finds
To the
different ways of
37.
being relevant.
Stafford surveying. Straight drop.
Yeah, except that horrible
fires,
throw he
caught,
did to
caught.
Matt
It's like, yo, we had
Stafford.
2 guys on him
32,
right
they
there.
go no
He still
huddle.
caught it.
To the outside. And they hit
This was mostly the Cooper Kupp show.
Stafford. Caught
That was
on
a
the
good run.
run. Cup.
It's a
That
good
was a
route.
good
Cooper Kupp had 8 receptions this
Slot
game.
to the right.
5 of them
That
came
way.
in this
For this
drive
drive alone.
Cup makes the
Exactly.
grab at about the 18.
And that's with Odell being
Give me the
hurt.
fourth down. Yeah, wait,
On
let's
the
see.
play before the 2-minute warning. On the ground. Akers this time finds the perfect time to finally do something on the left side.
And this is where the
Third
penalties
goal.
happen.
Stafford fires.
That's not a
knocked
penalty.
away.
That's not a penalty.
No, Logan Wilson was
So he
there,
said that's not a
and
penalty,
flag
right?
was
Could you pause that? Could you pause that for a second?
I think they're gonna replay it.
Penalties half the distance to the goal.
See?
He didn't hook him.
there.
Look, he got his hands all over him, bro.
He's not holding him. That's not a penalty. And it throws the ball behind
Tell
him.
me.
That's not a penalty.
That's what they called.
Nice, grabbing it right there.
Collinsworth
There's
said it was
several
one
there's
penalty. I
several
agree with
grabs
him.
on the play. You
That's what
can
I'm
make
saying.
the argument
Yeah.
that the play, but you can't deny that
Got
there
it.
was
Touchdown.
there was holding on the play.
There was a little bit of holding there.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a no flag.
You,
though.
you can argue you think they should have let
Al,
them
I've
go.
gotta
You're
tell you,
entitled to that opinion.
In a
There's
pressure
Eli Apple
situation,
getting
I don't know if
destroyed.
I've ever seen
1-on-1.
anybody be better than Matthew Stafford.
Eli Apple
and
didn't see
Cooper
that fade
Kupp.
arriving.
They had no
Nope.
choice.
At the top. It's that way. Chase
So,
makes
bro,
When that
Great.
play
and
happened,
picks up a
when
lot
that
more
play
yardage.
happened, I
So
said this
Ramsey
game's going into
tried to
overtime.
Jump it.
I said they're gonna get to the field goal. They have
Put pressure
arguably the
on.
best field goal
That
kicker
pass is
in the
caught.
playoffs.
Oh
Go
yeah.
get a rebound.
They're gonna be able to do it.
Instead on the
That's a
ground.
bad call there on
and
third down.
close.
4-for-1.
Burrow trying to keep it going.
There's
Gets
Garoppolo.
spun out, gets it away, and incomplete. It looked like T-Ron might have had a shot
He did have
to
a
make
shot
the
at him.
grab, but the Rams now.
He did have a
He
shot
did,
at
he
him.
did the Garoppolo.
Now,
It's either the
this
Jimmy
is really
Garoppolo.
quick to piggyback off what Chet was saying, right? I mean, this is in all sports. I thought the referees called a really good game, right? You can't not make a call all game. That game had maybe 4 or 5 flags. You can't have a whole game and not throw a flag. So you got to take it any way you can.
Look
when it
at
comes
There
to-
was
Timing the
one
points,
flag. There was one flag the first half, and all it was a delay of
Delay
game.
right.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's all it was.
the flow of the game was pretty awesome to me.
Right.
Refs did a good job.
I think they did a pretty good job.
They
I think
did
the
good for
game would
last
have
2
been
minutes, I thought.
way more scoring if OBJ didn't get hurt. But that's the way the game is played. People get hurt, so be it. But you know what I'm saying? I think
Thank
it
you
was
to
an
OB.
awesome game.
Thank you to OBJ on that prop bet. OBJ to score the first touchdown for $20 to win 200. Thank you very much,
Oh, yeah.
OBJ.
Listen, I actually thought you was going to show that play because I thought that first drive was pretty freaking awesome to me.
I was
That was a
doing
good
a dance
job.
as soon as he got hurt. I was going, okay, they're done.
Well, and then remember, Stafford got hurt at one point,
Yeah.
and we were like, "Who the hell is?"
But that dude
Rams
always gets
backup?
hurt. He does that a lot,
He
I
gets,
don't know if you ever
but he
follow him.
always shakes it off and he goes
Yeah.
back in. He doesn't give
Yeah.
a shit. He
Okay.
dislocated his arm one time
Especially
in
now.
Detroit and
Alright.
won a game by diving in himself.
and had like one win that whole season.
Right? Yeah.
Okay. All right. So just off topic, real quick. I heard them talking about it on the radio today. I'm gonna bring it to you guys.
Or in the gym.
Is-
Did you hear it in the gym?
No, we wasn't. I wasn't really talking to anybody today. I was trying to get in really quick and then get out of there. But
Steele ripped 3 shirts at the bar because his arms are so big. Because he's so we had to give him 3 shirts.
Is he a Hall of Famer? Hall of Famer? Is Stafford a Hall of Famer at this point?
All right, I'm going to answer
and
this
his
right.
career today.
I'm going to
Is he a
answer
Hall
this
of
real
Famer?
quick. Let me give you a little thing.
That's tough.
He was with Detroit for 12 years. Okay, his numbers are mediocre/good with a team where he was not successful with because he had nothing to build around with Matt Stafford. Okay, Matt Stafford had better stats than other people did with a shitty Detroit Lions team. The fact that the 2 top receivers in the history of football of most receptions in a year are Calvin Johnson and Cooper Kupp, and they come from the same quarterback in Matt Stafford, as Matt Stafford is only 34 years old, and he probably has another 5 or 6 years left in him to finish in the top 10 of almost every single quarterback list. I think 100% Matt Stafford will be a Hall of Famer at the end of his career. Especially now that he's won.
Definitely have the talent. He has the talent, obviously. Because
and now he has the ring.
There's nobody who saw Lions games that said this is Stafford's fault. Nobody. So
there's a lot of people that were saying that back in his early part of the career.
Well, early because he was young.
You had
terrible
Megatron
team.
most of the time he was there. Okay,
but that's all you had.
This team not making the playoffs most of the time. He
but
reminds
it
me
wasn't
of
on him.
one quarterback in particular. Okay,
Chet, they had the worst defense in football for 10 years. They went 0-16 with Matt Stafford.
The quarterback he reminds me of, okay, was when Baltimore Ravens beat the Giants. Okay, and that's Dilfer.
He's not Trent Dilfer
or Flacco.
You're comparing
or Flacco.
Stafford to
you win me another Super Bowl, then yes, I will.
So
wait,
basically,
did you just compare Trent Dilfer to
that's
Matt
what I'm
Stafford?
trying to say. And
He
Flacco.
might as well just say
Flacco. And he got to win 2 Super Bowls for him not to be better than them guys.
Billy, what is happening?
Apparently, I wasn't the only one that was disturbed on.
I mean, if you have to answer the question right now, are you putting him in right now today? My answer is no.
No, I agree.
I want to see the full body of work when the career is finished, and I do believe when all is said and done, especially if the Rams keep this team mostly together, I do believe yes, he will ultimately end up as a Hall of Famer. But if I had to make the decision right now today, no, not yet.
You compared Matt Stafford to Trent Dilfer
and Flacco.
Super Bowl. He hasn't got that many years in the playoffs.
But Chet, you can't just compare. Winning one Super Bowl isn't what's judging by. Look at the career stats.
Body of work,
Stafford's is far superior in any category to both.
Stafford is a passing quarterback. Those guys were not. They were game managers. Stafford's not a game manager.
For this year.
He's not a game manager, bro.
Before this year, in 12 years with Detroit, he won 74 games.
It's a team sport, Chet. They had the worst defense in the last 10 years.
Your quarterback.
If Brady was on those Detroit Lions teams, they wouldn't have won games.
It don't matter. You got to make the playoffs to it. He had in Detroit all his career 2 winning seasons. That's it. 2 years.
So by your standards, you're going to tell me Jacob DeGrom sucks too? Because
Can somebody email
what
me
you're saying?
Because
he's
like I said,
on sub 500 games.
If he has another good couple of years and he wins another Super Bowl, yes, he is a Hall of Famer.
I guess Aaron Rodgers and Trent Dilfer are the same too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess Aaron Rodgers and Trent Dilfer are exactly
right
the same
now,
too.
Stafford is not a Hall of Famer. He needs to win me another ring, and then I'll say yes.
No, he just needs a few more years.
He just needs
and he'll be in the top 10 of everything.
He doesn't need another
Super Bowl ring, another one, then yes.
He doesn't. If Dan Marino can make the Hall of Fame without a ring, Matt Stafford can make the Hall of Fame being in the top 10 of everything with one ring.
Dan Marino changed the quarterback position, period, with all the yards he came in 84.
Yeah, but those yards, those yards equate to nothing right now.
Yards or 50 touchdowns before him.
Think about it. Yeah, but think about it. Look at his stats look at his stats then, and then look at the stats of now these quarterbacks are having. There's nothing spectacular about it in today's game. In yesterday's game, they were Hall of Fame numbers because nobody was
It's the
throwing the ball
evolution
like
of the
that.
game.
Because
Exactly.
Matt
He changed
Stafford
quarterback game
has
when he
comparable
when he came
numbers.
in.
Matt
You never
Stafford
saw the
is a
50
passer.
touchdown quarterbacks.
By the
the
way, I have to
500-yard
just
games, the
I have to
5,000
just say this real quick. Matt Stafford this playoffs had 9 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and had a quarterback rating of 118.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's pretty
That's
Flacco-ish, right?
pretty Flacco-ish.
That's the best he's ever shown.
What happened?
That's the best he's ever shown. Is that?
He
That's the
hasn't
best
had an
almost everybody
opportunity
ever
to do
shown.
it.
It's the best he ever
Right.
shown in his first opportunity to at a run for a
Yeah,
championship.
exactly.
So yeah, he played his best when it was all on the line. So you just made the argument for all of us.
Right.
You just made the point for us.
Yeah,
Career year. That's what he has, a career year right now.
I mean,
That's like he had a career year. I think he had
Honestly,
a career year.
We need to do
Period.
Chet, what the
Career
fuck
year.
are you smoking?
yeah,
I
listen,
smoking.
listen. I
something is in
understand.
the pigs in a blanket tonight.
He has
I
the
don't
pigs
know.
in a blanket. That's what it
Listen,
is.
I think.
Maybe Boogie sent him home with a cookie
think-
from Sunday. Who the hell? You know, I don't know what's going on here.
Leave
But,
the cookies
guys,
alone, baby.
On the downside of Sunday, it looks like OBJ tore his ACL again, and it's the same ACL that he
It's the
tore
same
last
knee.
year in Cleveland. It's a terrible way to end a really good redemption story this year for Odell Beckham Jr. And hopefully he comes back. I think this actually works to the Rams' benefit because I think now the Rams will get him back on a cheaper contract than
Correct.
it probably would have ended up costing them in the end.
And
But-
maybe OBJ this year won't also take the money he gets from the Rams in Bitcoin, and then it drops 50%. he took 750,000 in Bitcoin when Bitcoin was at 63,000, and now it's at 42. So
Yeah.
he's lost.
I mean,
he's
at
lost
one-
a shit ton of money.
At one point, he entrusted his future to Baker Mayfield. So obviously, we all know he has.
Oh,
no
right,
idea.
his decision making. Yeah,
What the hell he's
listen.
doing.
I thought this was a really good story for OBJ, like Billy said. It's a little disheartening to see OBJ now. Listen, if it was his right knee, I would say okay. Now he'll have 2 robo knees and he'll be okay. When you get an injury that you've already had surgery on and it's the same knee, it's
You're
really
done.
hard to come back from.
He
that.
could be
I
done.
hear you. Old school way, yeah. But nowadays, I don't think so. I think
He
he'll
could
be
be
fine.
done.
He might not be as fast as he was,
It's
but guess what?
definitely
If
gonna
he
not be
stays
an
with the
easy road to
Rams and has Cooper Cup on his side, bro, he don't need to have any type of speed. All you gotta do is know how to catch a football because
Which he knows how to do.
So,
Listen, I don't see a sad. I don't think it's a sad situation.
It's
I think he's been through a lot. Giants, Cleveland.
Won a
He went
Super Bowl.
to the Rams. He kind of found himself there, and he had a pretty good season. So I mean, if he had to go out, at least he went out.
winning a Super Bowl.
There's
Right.
a
It's
very
boring.
good chance that that game wasn't even a game in the fourth quarter if he never got hurt.
Exactly. It wouldn't even. I don't think so.
It would have been a
fact that
blowout on the Rams side, unlike the Bengals, like somebody
he got
suggested.
he got 4 targets the first quarter alone.
No.
He had 4 targets. If you pick the over for OBJ over 64 yards, it was a lock before he got hurt.
Yeah.
It was a lock.
Absolutely.
He
Yeah.
had
It was a lock
53
by the second
yards
quarter.
the first quarter.
Yeah, Lou. It wasn't even the fact that he got those touches. He was wide open.
Yeah, he was
He was wide. It was no one
Boston.
near him.
those safeties.
He was playing. He had a second gear that no one else had.
Yeah.
When he went out on that
He was
field before
pumped
he
up.
got hurt.
He was pumped
Was.
up.
You know what the most disappointing part of the Super Bowl was for me? The national anthem.
Oh yeah, because
I bet the under, and she had to elongate it right at the end and go right over a second. Like
so what we did, so just so you guys
That
know,
pissed me
at
off.
the bar, what we did was we did over under bets. And what I did for the national anthem was I took all the national anthems the last 10 years, I put them together and I divided it by 10. And the average was a minute 47. The national anthem went to a minute 49. It went to a minute 49. Boogie lost the under.
because right at the end,
Right.
he had to elongate it.
She
Right at the end.
she said brave for 12 seconds.
12 seconds.
Brave. We was good until she said brave.
I mean,
Right.
I'd rather watch the national anthem than watch the Knicks. I'll tell you that. But I'm
Oh,
sorry.
let's get into that now.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Hey,
Jesus.
Ben Simmons is officially a net tonight.
He's not playing though.
No.
No.
No,
Yo.
he's officially a net.
How about the young Curry out there? Wow.
Curry's
I told
first
you.
game.
The
I
young
told people
Curry out
that
there.
adding
I told
Curry
you that
to that
was a
instead of
great run
Tobias
field.
Harris, that was key.
That was beautiful. Because
I
they
mean,
meshed good too.
That was
wow.
They really
Wow.
meshed good.
and
with the guys
and
who were there.
Drummond.
Wow.
Yeah, Drummond played good. You had, like I said, you had the right idea. You had Aldridge coming off the bench like he's supposed to be doing and scoring. Cam Thomas, those normal off the bench stuff. Bruce Brown finally showed up and played a decent enough game. Finally, for the first time in a while. So they played well last night. They really looked really good. They're going to be a quick team when Durant comes back. They're gonna focus more on the running game
Right.
with this team.
The main
Without
factor
that.
is it all goes. They're a different looking team when they have some length to their bench.
Right.
When
Which
they
they
when
do now.
they're a better team when they're a deeper team.
Right, because you're gonna get Durant back. You're gonna get Durant back, so Brad will go back to the bench. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the NBA, and I think hopefully for net fans' sake, Sean Marks learned his lesson here, and he sees now you need 9 solid players, not 3 superstars
Right.
and 6 guys from the
And
corner.
you now when you got
win.
Kyrie playing back, you can
You
put
have to
Adam
play-
back on the bench and bring him off the bench too.
Team basketball is where it's at right now, and
Yes.
anybody that doesn't realize that, like I said, go watch it. Go watch the defending champions play. I mean, it's that simple.
You
And-
watch
and-
And
and
the
a
Nets,
team built around
the Nets, I think one of only 2 teams left that may pick up Gordon Dragic. If they
Yeah.
pick him up,
he's washed up, man. Don't throw him in
No,
there.
No, but he's good for a backup role.
He's,
He's great for a backup role.
but he's
Absolutely.
not somebody I'd be like, oh wow. He's
Yeah,
I
but-
would love that
No,
one.
but
actually.
hey, remember
as a
who went
piece-
to a championship with him? He went to the Heat with the championship.
As a-
years ago.
as a
You can
backup
you can
piece-
play a
as
second
a
unit.
backup
Dragic,
piece, it's not a
Patty
bad thing.
Mills. When Harris comes back, Harris, Aldridge,
And you
Blake
can't tell me
Griffin.
you thought Patty Mills was going to be anywhere near productive as he is now. So just as much as
Yeah.
you can say Dragic is washed up, you didn't think Patty Mills was
he's
washed
playing-
up.
he's
no,
right?
I never thought Patty Mills,
He's
but I'm
pretty
just
good all
talking
year,
about
Patty Mills.
listen, I'm not doubting anybody on the Nets. That's not what I'm doing here.
After
I'm just
the
saying
All-Star break,
I
this is a
think
team you don't wanna play.
they're good right now where they at. They don't
Yeah.
need no extra pieces. Build that unit right there. Get that continuity going,
Yep.
and then see what happens. They don't need another. They don't need another guard, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion.
I honestly think the 76ers gave up too much for Harden.
Oh, I love what they gave up.
I think they gave up too much. I think giving up Drummond. I think giving up Simmons. Listen, Simmons was a lost cause, right? He was never playing for Philly again.
Yeah.
But the fact that they got 2 first-round picks out of it too.
Yeah.
I thought that was a lot because
That was a
honestly,
great
alone,
Awesome.
Put it
I
this
think-
But you
way.
got to remember the value of James Harden, though.
It's all going to depend.
Let's
It's
not
all going to
forget about
depend
that.
on the end result. Because if they get a championship this year or next year, it's well worth it. You know what?
Yep.
Daryl Morley might not be there when that second first-round pick is due. By the way this works, these guys got to play for it now. You have general managers, coaches, players. These guys are playing for their jobs. Some every season. And they got to do what they got to do to try to win. And he put his team right now in a better position than they were yesterday to
Billy,
win the championship.
Not
As-
like
you know,
this guy over here. Not
As
like
much
this
as
guy.
as much as we can't stand James Harden because he's just a cancer, that Morley sees something in him. That's Morley's guy. This is the guy Morley's wanted probably since the day he took the Sixers job.
Yeah.
He's wanted to bring Harden in there, and he got what he wanted. Now it's all about what he does with it. If they don't win a championship, you know what? This is gonna go down. They're gonna get killed. If you don't win a championship,
This is where you're going to see Embiid's numbers go down big time.
Let me tell you something.
time.
You can
Big
talk all that sideways stuff you want to. Embiid is having a MVP season, and if you think his numbers are not going in,
Yeah, I think it will go down.
James Harden is
Yeah.
definitely going to be feeding him the rock. So
he's not. I don't know.
I think his numbers go down. I don't think he's going to be scoring 40 points a night.
How they going to decide who won that trade if by chance those two meet in the playoffs? Whoever wins that series is going to be labeled the winner of the trade. Bottom line,
I still got the Nets. I got the Nets winning.
I have the Nets
I'm not even touching that series if it happens.
So let's
I
talk
mean,
about your
nobody can answer that question right now because the Nets are never healthy enough for you to plan that far ahead.
Right.
All
Yo, guys,
you're going to do is watch on Wednesday night, tomorrow night actually, when you see the Nets walk into Madison Square Garden and show how good they are.
Yeah, but that's irrelevant. You're talking about playing against a team that's struggling, so that's not going to show anything.
Hey guys, real
That's not gonna show
quick,
anything.
real quick. I don't mean to change the subject real quick, but when your Jets quarterback gets a first down on his first play of the year,
Oh man. Oh man.
Yo, save that, bro.
Say that.
Oh man. All right.
when you see a girl in the club and you check her out from behind.
Man. Oh man. Oh man.
Sorry.
Yo, wait, hold on. When Chet says something crazy,
Right. When Chet says that Matt Stafford's compared to Joe Flacco.
come on, bro.
No, it's credit to Lonnie. Lonnie did
So
that.
both Ben Simmons and James Harden, right? Now they're officially on their respective teams. They had their interviews already today. It was today, right? Was it
Yes,
today?
today.
Yeah.
Today. So now we're gonna play the beginning part of Ben Simmons just telling us absolutely nothing when asked the direct questions, and then we'll listen to James Harden.
We'll
tell us
basically not to
absolutely
him
nothing.
too.
Yeah.
What's the
Hello.
recruiting process been like for you, and when do you anticipate being able to participate in games?
Yes, I don't have a date yet, but I'm working towards getting back on the floor, and yeah, so no date yet, but I'm starting to ramp it up.
He ain't been playing, but he hasn't ramped it up yet.
Was there anything this season that could have changed your mind and got you to play again, or your mind made up and until you were out of Philadelphia, you were definitely not going to play again?
For me, it was just making sure mentally I was right to get out there and play again. So that's something I've been dealing with, and it wasn't about the fans or coaches or comments made by anybody. It was just a personal thing for me. That was earlier than that series or even that season that I was dealing with. And that organization knew that, so it was something that I continue to deal with, and I'm getting there and getting to the right place to get back on the floor.
What?
Hey Ben, there was so much source reporting around everything going on with you.
Here's the key one right
I
here.
guess so you're saying that
Here's the key nothing.
the mental health issue preceded you requesting the trade in the off season. Okay, I guess can you just shed a little light on the timeline and everything?
Yeah, for me, it wasn't. That was never. The mental health has nothing to do with just the trade. It was a bunch of things that I was dealing with as a person in my personal life that I don't really want to go into depth with. But yeah, I'm here now, so it's a blessing to be in an organization like this, and I'm just looking.
Absolutely nothing.
Literally nothing.
Okay, so the bottom line comes down to is Ben Simmons is full of crap, and he's
Right,
worried
exactly.
about getting sued by the 76ers if he says something stupid. Because there's no fact. You don't all of a sudden, I'm starting to ramp it up because I got traded. Meanwhile, and I am not going to downplay anyone's mental health. I have no issue with it's not about that.
It's just coincidence, right?
Automatically using to me, I feel he's using it as an excuse, and I feel it was an excuse not to play in Philly. And I think he just proved it was by all of a sudden now all of a sudden he's traded, and now he's starting to ramp it up.
Exactly.
I don't believe him.
I couldn't have said any better. And now we got James Harden.
That's not hard.
I guess it's a two-part question.
That's Harden.
Why did you want out of Brooklyn, and why did you want Philadelphia to be your destination?
Originally, when I was going through everything I was going through, in Houston, Philly was my first choice. It just didn't happen. So, but just detailed, I don't really want to get into the Brooklyn situation. I just knew, for a very long time, this was a perfect fit. And obviously, you got a best big man in the league in Joel. And then obviously,
He's not the best big man in the league.
Just from top to bottom, it made sense. And I'm just happy and blessed that I'm here. And as Doc and
I'm thankful.
Rose and everybody wants is to win and be the last team standing. So I'm excited for the opportunity.
James, are you able to clear up what happened with the opt-in? I guess there was a report that you were going to opt in for the next year here with the Sixers after the trade. You still have the opportunity to do
I still
that.
have the opportunity to do it.
And will you?
And yes. Yeah, but it just everything happened so fast. I just wanted
Yeah, he'll
he's
opt in.
lying. He's
Yeah.
lying.
Yeah.
Now that I'm
That's
away from Kyrie Irving, yes, I will opt into that to my.
And you know what's crazy? They asked him that in an interview. They did ask him, did it have anything to do with Kyrie Irving's vaccination status? And he said
no.
very little. He said very little. You know,
all
we're
lying.
friends.
He
you
said
know.
everything he needed to say last week when he stood on the podium in the Barclays Center and said, "Yeah, we played good last night because we had a good lineup last night." That was a lineup with Kyrie. He goes, but we can't have the same lineup every night. We're not allowed to. And because he was talking about now playing at home without Kyrie.
Let's just be honest with these NBA players. First of all, you can't trash a team because you might mess around and get traded to that team in a month or so. So you can't fault players for not wanting to talk bad about an organization, team, or a player. Like back in the old days, players talk trash, and then you end up playing with them. You look like a jerk. So I can't fault them for not saying anything.
John
I can't
Stark
even.
in a Bulls uniform.
Right. I can't fault Harden for not wanting to play in Brooklyn. I mean, if I was in his shoes, I wouldn't want to get the hell up out of there too. I'm not. I mean, you got a player that's playing. He gets on the microphone and says it's not his fault, not really his problem. This is Kyrie that he's not playing all the games. Whose problem or whose fault is it? It's his problem and his fault.
But the issue is he just got himself out of a team and now got himself out of another team.
But
so the problem
I can't blame him though.
It's
not like.
But at what point are you going to put the blame? Like you have a contractual duty to play for the team.
When is it
like when are you going to stop crying out of an organization?
Listen, when he was in Houston, and he cried his way out of there again.
He ate his way
out. Cried his way out of here too.
He cried his way out of there. Hey, listen, do I blame him?
Upside down behind Boogie.
If I was him, if I was James Harden, I would have done the same thing. I'm not gonna listen.
So you're malcontent like James Harden, you're basically.
You're malcontent, right?
No, I'm just.
You want to be a selfish, you know what?
Listen,
okay.
When ownership moves the same way players move, you can hit me with that nonsense. But when ownership want to get rid of you, you're gone. Whether you're good, bad, or indifferent. So I don't want to hear that. He has a contract.
You got a contract. You play for the team. Bottom line.
Yeah, but what about the rest of the players on the team? What about the rest of the players on the team? So you're unhappy because God knows who knows what. But what about Durant, who's putting it out there on the line when he's injured to play? Right. What about Patty Mills and the rest of these dudes? They're trying to win. They know what the situation is with Kyrie, but they out there, they trying to win games. And here you are on the sideline soaking because you want to be on the 76ers. Because when you was with Houston, you wanted them to send you to the 76ers, and it didn't work out that way. So now you're a crybaby because you didn't get to go where you want, and now you have an opportunity to finally get to where you want. So now you're going to cry yourself out of the What about the players that you're playing with?
And this is exactly, guys.
Look how butthurt Durant looked on All-Star when it's picking the All-Star roster. Look how he was acting.
Yeah, I can watch that over and over a million times.
Same with me.
Right. Listen, there's a reason why the Brooklyn Nets, and I'm sorry to say this, Chet, are not going to win a championship this year. The chemistry has been messed up this whole season since day one.
It might be better now, though.
It'll be better now.
100% better.
But
once
you
once the team is healthy, this is a team you don't want to play.
I'm gonna be honest with you. They could definitely use Kyrie, but they could definitely win without him.
That's right.
The way they got it now,
I still think the Nets are in trouble. I still think the Nets are in trouble. The Nets still now you have crybaby Kyrie and crybaby Ben Simmons on the same team. Something's gonna blow up eventually again. If it's not this year, it's next.
You cannot say the Nets are all in as a team until the organization puts an end to this Kyrie fiasco. Because they are 11 and they are an 11 plus 1 until they put a stop to this one way or another.
Yeah,
they are not a team.
And I've been saying that for a while.
Well, there's nothing that they can really do at this point because
Yeah.
they're allowing him to play. It's just that he can't play at home.
He should have never started playing to begin with because got to remember, chemistry means a lot. He should have started
They
playing
tell
to
him
begin
not to
with.
play, then you get the Players Association into it, and then all of a sudden you're going to have major lawsuits. You're going to, he's not going to play. He's going to start crying. The organization's going to sit there and say, why'd you sign the contract and all of that? That hurts the chemistry.
The Nets organization proved that their pockets were more important than team chemistry and the team winning when they activated him to begin with. They should have stuck their ground and done what was right for the team. They did what was right for them to try to get a few more wins and hopefully get into the playoffs, and the whole time praying that by the time because you know what they want? All they want is for the New York vaccination laws to change by the time the playoffs start.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all they care about, because really that's all the NBA cares about is the playoffs. I mean, you had Giannis. Giannis sat out a game last night to rest for the All-Star game. I mean, need I say more?
And by the way, you're supposed to be playing all the way through the All-Star game unless you get hurt or you're not playing.
Yeah.
That's been like that the last few years. Harden's not playing now. Harden's out of it now. Okay, Durant's not playing the All-Star game. He's on IR. If I'm the NBA, say, well, guess what? You rested. You ain't playing the All-Star game unless you're hurt. That's what it should be.
The thing is, now you're going to punish the fans because this is for the fans.
Right.
It's not really for them.
But you already
have to follow the rules, and he's not.
You already punished the players by letting Kevin Durant choose one of the teams, and he's not. He hasn't played in 2 goddamn years.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Right. Listen, at the end of the day, when it comes to
also
NBA,
it's a money exhibition. That's all it is.
At the end of the day, listen, if he says he's hurt, how you gonna prove it wrong? Even if you feel in your mouth
he's resting. They say he's resting.
All right, but if he feels I need to rest, and this is the new NBA, you can't prove indifferent. You can't say nothing.
As simple as this. As simple as this. If I'm the NBA and I'm the commissioner, I sit there and say to Giannis, if you're going to rest, then you will not play the All-Star game. Take your choice. And you know what Giannis will say? I don't play the All-Star game.
Yeah, and guess what? And guess who's upset? We are. Because we don't get to see him.
Because Chet Stearns said he wanted to put it that way. You know what I'm saying? You're not running the organization to punish the fans.
Don't have any All-Star games.
You're not trying to punish the fans, bro.
There's no way to really solve it, unfortunately. And that's why I'll stick to what I always say. Don't compare any of these guys today to Michael Jordan. Do me a favor.
Yeah,
because it's a joke.
Michael Jordan was an MVP, won championships, and was still doing the dunk contest in the middle of the whole thing.
If Phil Jackson told Michael Jordan, "I want you to take a maintenance pay," Michael Jordan would have punched him in the face.
Yeah,
right.
So let's get to the other New York team.
What other New York team?
There's no other New York. There's no Buffalo team.
We're talking about the Knickerbockers.
Who? Sox?
Yeah, who? The Knickerbockers.
All right. Well.
Let's start this way. Why don't they make any moves? Why don't they make any trades? That's first and foremost.
Because you stop with the trades. The Knicks of the past made trades just to make trades, and every one of them blew up in their face. Obviously, they weren't comfortable with it. That part of it I'm okay with. The problem I have with the Knicks right now is Tom Thibodeau needs to go. Tom Thibodeau has lost his team, and he burns players out, and everywhere he goes, and he's doing it again now. A lot of these players are burnt out. I mean, he almost got R.J. Barrett hurt a week ago, playing him in the end of the fourth.
That was stupid. That was stupid.
Here's a perfect example I got.
He's got blind loyalty to stupidity. Fournier last night, he was 1 for 10, 1 for 13. Get him out.
He was 1 for 13 the other night.
How about quickly? He was like 0 for 5, and then they had him shoot the try to game tie 3-pointer. You let him shoot the game tie.
Here's the thing I say about last night. Okay, last night Randall I thought played very well. Fournier was fine. Okay, guys, your bench, your supposed great part of the team goes 8 for 28, 1 for 13 for 3. That's why you lose the game.
No. Let me help you why you lose the game, okay? Because this is my team and this is my sport. You lost. Randall didn't have a good game. Stop. It's fans like you that mess up the game of basketball.
What?
The first 2 quarters.
God, everyone's shooting the Chet today so bad.
The first 2 quarters of a game mean nothing. It's what you do in the fourth quarter. I don't care if you got 30 points in the first 2 quarters. If you got nothing in the fourth, if you can't close, you're garbage to me. And Randall had 3 turnovers in the last 2 minutes of the game. That killed the game. Okay, so don't give Randall points like, oh, he had a
You
good.
should,
No,
you
he's
should
no.
lose first of all to a team that don't even have their best 2 players on the floor. Okay,
Listen,
you don't have Alexander, you don't have Dort. That's 2 of their best players on their team, and you
Who?
lose to them.
Okay,
and then you
okay.
blow, and then the night before you blow a 23-point lead in the fourth quarter to Portland as nobody.
Yeah, you
Okay.
have a coach
It's
that's
all
supposed
Billy,
to be
like
a
you said. It's
defensive
on to
minded
Thibodeau.
coach. Your
That's
coach
on
is
Thibodeau.
That's on the coach. That's not
defensive
on the
minded,
team.
and you can't win a game when you score 123 points. And if you want a real laugh, listen to his post-game press conference afterwards when he was asked that question.
Yeah,
and he couldn't even answer it.
You couldn't.
Listen, he has a point guard in the G League right now that should be taking the place of what Alec Burke is doing right now, okay? Well, he keeps running him out there, and he's not doing anything. He's running quickly out there. He's not doing anything. And no, it's hard to watch as a Knicks fan.
Because
I mean,
he's stuck in his ways.
Right.
And that's what he's going to do.
And he's killing
he
the
knows
Knicks.
he's coaching for his job. And he has that attitude, and he always has, that if he's going down, he's going down the way he believes it.
Yep.
You know what Tim Thibodeau reminds me of? He reminds me of a 1960s bowler who still throws urethane and tells everybody else to adjust when everyone's using resin.
You know what? Yo, Lou, you're actually the guys that come in the bowl now. They talking about why you got all those bowling balls. Because hello,
because you're
bowling.
adjusting. That's what I'm
Hello.
saying.
Yeah.
And Tim Thibodeau is the
No,
guy.
but it's different
well,
because if you're asking,
I
if you're
shot
asking
300
Steele
in
why he has all
1980.
bone balls, you're asking. There's a reason to ask that. You know what I'm saying? When you're asking Steele why you have all those bone balls, you know what I'm saying?
It's because he averages 180.
You see what I'm saying? It's a different question when you ask Steele that. You know what I'm saying? So
Still the average is 221.
Wait, why do you have this?
talking about?
Why do you have this bowling ball? My pro shop guy told me to get it.
Still averaging 221. I don't know what y'all talking about.
Right. No,
Well,
but that's how
Tim,
Tim,
we bowling?
yeah, but that's how Tim Thibodeau seems, right? He does
It's Tom,
seem really
it's Tom.
Tom Thibodeau. Sorry, it's
Thibodeau.
Tom.
Tim Thibodeau?
Because
Tim
Tim
Thibodeau, there we
Thibodeau, because we
go.
keep saying
Right.
Thibodeau.
Is that his cousin?
But that's how Tom
Thibodeau.
Thibodeau seems. Is that he does seem stuck in his old ways, and the players, you can even tell, the players seem fed up with him on the
They're
bench.
burnt out. That's what
Yeah.
he does everywhere. He did it in Minnesota. He did it in Chicago. He's doing. This is what he does.
You had last
He
night.
burns-
4 guys play over 40 minutes last night.
You know what? On the bright side, how about the bright side? The bright side is Mitchell Robinson is turning his career around right now.
He's playing
because
great.
He's become an animal. He's a rebounding
He
machine.
had 17 rebounds
And
yesterday.
he's putting everything back. He's becoming an offensive mindset. Like I'm loving the player that he's growing into.
Right.
It's just that still he's a little fragile with the
Will
legs,
he
but
be
what
around
7-footer
next
isn't?
year?
You know why?
what I'm
Because
saying?
he's the only person they're not putting on the friggin' 3-point line and telling him just shoot everything
Yeah,
that comes
he's
in your
having an
hand.
amazing season. And
Yeah.
also, Quentin Grimes, man, is that kid growing up? That kid is gonna be good. Quentin Grimes.
Yeah.
Are you
I
watching?
can't wait.
last night?
I
The
can't wait
confidence
until
he's
next year
shooting
where
with,
there's
and he's
another
playing
point guard that
defense.
Boogie likes.
No, he's not a point guard though.
He's
That's
a
Shooting guard.
He's a two.
He's two.
Yeah.
I see him bring up the ball though. He brings up the ball.
Yeah, but anybody brings up the
Anybody
ball.
can do that.
He's not the
Steele can
point
bring a
guard.
ball up. What are you kidding? Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
You-
Steele
you-
shot-
watch
Steele
him.
shot-
No, but you gotta admit,
Watch
quickly
him
has
out.
not quickly has not
I
been the
mean, you
same as he
could.
was last year. And
Right.
you want to know why I'm having a really hard time with this
Because
Knicks
he's
team?
burning them out.
But last year he was even burning them out. But was it the motivation that they were winning games that they didn't care as much? Is that what it was?
No, you know what? It's all about what we talked about with the Nets. I'm gonna say it was the Knicks last year. The Knicks had so much good chemistry last year that
Right.
they were running over teams with their chemistry. Right now, there's no chemistry with this team. That no one knows. I mean, how frustrated would you be if you're a player on the Knicks and Fournier is 1 for 1,000, and your Grimes on the other side of the court, and you're hitting your shots, but the coach is not calling your number, not giving you the ball. You're gonna be like, yeah, what am I doing here? What?
Yeah.
And then
I
when
get
you
it.
finally get the ball, you're not used to having it, and you do have a stupid turnover.
Or you're Obi Toppin and you get told you don't practice good with the guy who's
Yeah.
shooting 1 for 13. He must have showed you something in practice because you're going to keep letting him go out
8
there.
minutes last night he played. 8 minutes.
Yeah.
He played 8 minutes because Randall is he
Randall was having a triple double game, so
yeah, he has a triple.
8 minutes, he had 7 points.
He almost
Top of
had I don't know what they call it, what it's for, but he had 8
quad,
turnovers.
quad.
He had a quad, whatever it is. Who cares? He almost had that with turnover. He had 8 turnovers.
7.
One of them was they didn't count as his fault, but he had
and he fouled out too.
Listen, Randall is a disaster. Okay,
this guy's a real Randall hater.
I do not listen. I call him how I see it. When last year, when everybody was bigging him up, it was like, "Oh, give him that contract." I was the only one going like this. Don't
Nick's
do
got
it.
a lot of work to do. I mean, there's no
and,
other way to say it.
And then you got Leon Rose like this.
Bro, Leon Rose has to show face. At this,
he hasn't said a word.
This is crazy because Phil Jackson was getting killed by not wanting to talk.
Oh yeah.
And now Leon Rose is getting left alone. I don't get it.
It's totally unfair.
I don't get it. He has to at least like I said, he can treat us like the rest of these players treat us. You know what I'm saying, and tell us absolutely nothing on the interview. But you gotta at least give us some type of like background information on what your plan is. What's the idea? Because you got a team who's struggling and made 0 moves at the trade deadline. You gotta show face. Like, hey guys, we feel like we're gonna develop our players and the player that
thanks, Bill.
Really,
see you later, bud.
The player that will really make a difference wasn't available at this point in time. So instead of just making a trade just to make a trade, we just stand pat. Like say something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but not to say nothing. So now you just got your fans frustrated and talking about each other. It's crazy.
One thing, Phil Jackson got ripped apart for a lot of different reasons. And the number one reason Phil Jackson got ripped apart is because everybody wanted Phil Jackson to actually be coaching the Knicks. And the media especially, and the media never got past that. And with every bad coaching hire Phil Jackson made that didn't work out, they were ripping him apart primarily because he wasn't coaching himself.
Yeah. Yep. And I still understand why we signed Cam Reddish if we're only going to play him 8 to 10 minutes a game.
Exactly.
I don't get that. I don't understand either. Like,
because again, Tom Thibodeau's gonna do what Tom Thibodeau wants to do, and that's who he is. That's how he's always been.
Well, he's stupid because you're bringing
100%.
You're bringing 2 or 3 Duke boys together who have played together before that could maybe even run some plays that they did back at Duke and to build some chemistry. And this guy's playing 8 minutes a game. 8 minutes a game.
It's insane.
He runs his front. He runs his first 7 into the ground, and that's who he is.
Is Chet taking a dinner break or something? What's going on?
No, just replugging my battery. That's all.
I thought he was going to take a dump.
Yeah, just replugging my battery. That's all.
This is
He's
my
done
question.
everything else on the show. I might as well.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I said replug my battery.
This is not. We're not insiders, okay? But we're just guys that love the
what? You're not Stephen A. Smith? I thought you were looking like a Stephen A. Smith.
What does Thibodeau have? Why does Thibodeau have all those coaches, assistant coaches, associate coaches on the bench if he's not going to listen to any of them?
Because I'm Tom Thibodeau.
Well,
I strong man. That's why.
I mean, listen. The whole world's not lying. Like if media is saying it, if the fans are saying it, we're saying it. Let's listen. It's the truth. Make an adjustment. There's no reason for the Knicks. Only thing I agree with Randall. He said the other day, for the games we lost, we could have won, and he's absolutely correct. But they were poorly coached down the stretch, and they were unable to come away with a victory. But those are the games last year that the Knicks were winning.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. And listen, Julius Randle, this whole offseason, because the Knicks aren't even going to make the play-in. All right. Let's be realistic.
What I say?
They're not making the play-in.
They're not. I don't think so.
They're not making the play-in. So what Julius Randle needs to do this offseason is to never take a shot past that 3-point line this whole offseason and work on just that 15-foot to the net shot and pass the ball out if there's nothing available, and that's it. And he's got. And if Tom Thibodeau's going to stay there, they have to adjust.
Julius Randle for that. I'm sorry. He's doing
no,
what
that's
he's
not.
being
That's
told
not.
to do. This is the players
I agree with you on that.
Up by the coaches. That is on the coaches. We know the game Randle can play. We watched him play it well last year. He's doing what he's being instructed to do.
I agree with you, and that's why I'm telling you that as Julius Randle, in this offseason, if Tom Thibodeau said to me, how have you been working on your 3-point shot? I would say I took 0 shots.
Listen, there's one thing I need Julius Randle to do in the offseason that will vastly improve the team.
Leave.
What he needs to do
No.
is drive to Dame Lillard's house, offer to become his maid, and say, "I'll do whatever you want. Just become a Knick." That's what he needs to do. Convince guys that can make a difference to play here.
See, now I'm gonna go the opposite. To me, Julius Randle doesn't need to do anything. The Knicks need to get to work and put a better team out there
I agree.
around Julius Randle. In addition to Julius Randle, whatever you want to call it, that's what needs to be done.
Well, Leon Rose needs to do it, but he can't even show his face on TV.
Especially since
you also need to
Julius
sign Robinson.
Randle.
Yeah, remember that.
I think it's all fair to say that we all can agree that Julius Randle is not a number one, right? He's not.
Correct.
Everybody in the NBA knows that. Everybody
Which is
knows
why it's not, as Billy is saying, it's not Julius Randle to go up and call.
But he's
Dame
our
Lillard.
best player.
Your best player.
He's our best player.
But
So
yeah,
yeah,
that's when the organization.
usually the best player does this.
No, they don't though.
Yes,
They don't.
usually the best player tries to do the recruiting. Yes,
Yes.
that
If
is
you're the
how it
best
works.
player in the world.
No, best player on the team.
The team, not the world.
What's wrong with
Oh,
you,
listen,
bro?
listen.
The only
I
one who's
agree.
done that is LeBron James and Kevin Durant. Who else has really done that?
Listen,
Every team does
Everybody's
it.
done it.
Every team does
I
it.
don't hear about it.
I agree with Billy. Listen, if we're gonna we're a team that was rebuilding, right? But we're not using the players that we're getting from the draft. So why are we getting draft picks if we're not going to use them? Look at OKC. All on that court, no one knew who those guys were. They're all draft picks. Look at the Raptors. All draft picks. Look at Orlando, not playing well. All draft picks out there though. Listen, you get the guys that you drafted. See what you have. Try to build them up, and if you don't have anything, then you go back to the draft again and find some players. If you can't get them through trades, make the guys that you have better. What the Knicks are doing, they're not making the guys they have better.
The only player that's making it better right now is Robinson.
No, wait. Grimes is playing better too.
And RJ Barrett.
RJ Barrett improved.
But Grimes is playing now, getting more playing time because RJ's hurt. If RJ wasn't hurt, Grimes wouldn't be getting all.
Yeah,
he's
now
getting.
he will.
But
Robinson's playing great though. But that's the thing. You need to sign him next year too, Robinson.
Knicks will sign.
I'll say this right now. You have a better shot of seeing Zion Williamson and Nick next year than Dame Lillard.
Probably.
Ooh.
I agree.
Probably.
I kind of agree with that too.
Probably.
Then you're going to get Shevsky to coach the team?
Do you want to know why I don't see Dame Lillard ever? Think about it this way. When Portland had those runs in the playoffs where they went to the Western Conference Finals that year and they beat OKC and they were kicking it. Remember he did the buzzer beater to beat OKC. Yeah. The next year, Damian Lillard wasn't trying. I didn't hear any reports of Damian Lillard trying to go out and get people to join Portland with him. So, and that's what scares me about getting a guy like Damian Lillard to the Knicks, be honest.
To be honest with you, though, if you're not in that media, you're not going to hear it.
Because
if you was in Portland, you probably heard about it.
I'm going to tell you the honest, again, this is my sport. I followed, especially when Melo went there, I was following Portland's media.
Who?
Melo.
Carmelo.
And Dame had reported Dame was trying to get guys to come to Portland. Yes. No one wants to go there. That's the problem.
Because there's nothing there.
New York sells itself is what it does.
Right.
It's the bright lights. It's the big city. It's the mecca of basketball.
But
you gotta get over that now. Because New York hasn't sold itself in years.
A long time.
That is over.
You have a choice between New York and Portland. Where you going? You going to New York.
The thing is,
who's going to New York now?
Where you're going to win better. Because right now, you can get paid in any state or city now. So it's not a matter of getting paid.
LeBron James chose to go back to freaking Cleveland than come to New York.
Yeah.
He sure did.
He'd rather 2 tours in Cleveland than come here right now because of what's wrong with this organization.
Well, honestly, if you're the Knicks, I think you trade Eric Fournier for somebody else. I think you get rid of
Eric Fournier?
Who the hell is that?
I said it.
Is it Evan Fournier?
Okay,
thank you.
First off, we need a host that knows the names of players because it's now getting crazy now. It's getting crazy.
I've been pretty good with names. I don't know what happened to me today. You guys haven't made fun of me.
You remember last week, Donald last week, we had to have Kyrie give comments to correct you. You know, you got an issue, bro.
All I would like
Listen,
to
let's
see.
not confuse names, not people. This guy says Sam Darnold was Sam Bradford. Right?
Listen, that was you done took my spot, Mr. Tim Thibodeau.
Tim Tebow. He doesn't say Tim Tebow.
But still has the worst with the Eli backing up.
Phil
Phil
Simms.
Simms.
That's the worst.
We'll stop talking about old shit. Anyway,
That's worse.
Anyway, we're talking. This is basketball season. We're talking about basketball. Let's talk about old shit. Yeah. Anyway, we need to. The Knicks need to play their young guys. End of story. End of conversation.
And they got to make some additions.
Yeah.
Zion Williamson, and the other name to look out for is Kawhi Leonard, because that Paul George Kawhi Leonard experience will be done after this season.
Yeah, I think
Kawhi
after
doesn't
3
play a
years.
lot of games, man. That's the only scary about Kawhi. He just doesn't play games.
And no one talks about. Everybody talks about people resting and taking. Kawhi just disappears for seasons. It's not even a couple of games.
Yeah.
He disappears for a whole season, and no one says anything.
Yeah, but you know why nobody says anything? Because Kawhi Leonard never
winning
talks,
championships.
Right, he wins. He won 2 championships with 2 teams, and he's not a big personality. So when you go and you have an interview with someone like Kawhi Leonard, and he's just monotoned because that's his personality, you don't want to do an interview with Kawhi Leonard. You don't want to hear anything about him. Oh, he's not playing? Okay, we don't have to talk about it.
He just watched the guy who disappeared for the whole season get traded for James Harden. I mean, why not try it yourself?
Right.
That's true.
Who knows what you can get out of it?
That's true.
That's true. No, but Kawhi, listen, I wouldn't be opposed to Kawhi Leonard being a New York Knick. I would not be opposed to it, but it's one of those things where he's been hurt a bunch. He's getting toward the later
sits
part
out
of
a lot.
his career. Yeah,
Listen,
I don't know.
Who can the Knicks honestly at this point right now, and I'm a diehard Knicks fan, turn their nose up to?
Nobody.
I mean,
No, at those level of players, no. You gotta take the chance. Do I take the chance on Paul George? No. Do I take it on Kawhi? Yes.
I mean, the only other possibility that I know somebody was talking about possibly would come in would be Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
He's a huge New York Mets fan.
He is.
Listen, any of the above,
from
guys.
upstate New York, so
Any of the above.
I'll put it this way. I'll add him to the list of people more likely than Damian Lillard to be a New York Knicks.
Donovan Mitchell, yeah.
Yo,
How about Carmelo? How about Carmelo?
Listen,
well, he
Carmelo
wanted
is-
to be here. He was actually going to sign if the Lakers.
Still
didn't
go
want him.
recruit him. Go to LA, recruit him.
Yo,
He's
imagine
not
if
in his
he,
career when he
imagine
lost
if he
that
signed,
conversation, you know it.
guys. Imagine if he signed, and we've had this kind of season. Man,
It would have been
he would have got
they
killed.
They would have killed him. But listen,
Oh yeah, it would have been his
man.
fault.
all right. But honestly, right now, guys,
Oh man,
we clown Melo, right? Game on the line. Who do you want shooting the ball, Melo or Randall?
Melo.
Melo.
Sure.
Okay, so
Is there an option C?
I have none of them take the shot, and I take the L.
Yeah, I think who's option C?
I don't want to be embarrassed by the shot. I take the L. I hold the ball.
First of all,
That's why it should be option C. There you go.
Besides Kevin Durant, Melo is one of the best shooters in the NBA, period, in my opinion. Small forward or forward, nah, it's no question. In my opinion, anyway. The man's a pure shooter.
No, you take you take Melo over Randall. You take.
I would take Melo.
All right, guys. Well, look, it is officially 8:03, which means we are past our hour of talking here, so we don't get sued by our TV network. This brought to you by 106th Street Tire and Wheel.
Hi, Biggs.
Get your automotive stuff done. Biggs, thanks for watching the show yet again. Actually, you know what? Can we give a nice clap? Biggs showed up to the Super Bowl party.
Yes.
All right, so Biggs, thank you so much. Big showed up. He might not have been paying attention because he was playing cards the entire time, but that's perfectly fine. He might have forgotten the shirts to sell for merchandise, but you know what? That's perfectly fine. He showed up. Biggs, you did great.
Shirts, there we go.
Right, yeah, right, exactly. We finally got Chet a shirt.
He knew when the Super Bowl was. Give him credit where credit's due.
Yes.
Yeah, because he had about $4,000 in boxes. That's the only reason why he knew when the Super Bowl.
And he got himself in the door half price. Come on.
Right, exactly. That's true. But Biggs, thanks. Biggs, if you're here, let me get a shout out. Biggs?
Nobody.
Shocker. And if you ask him, did you watch the show? I was in and out of the show.
I was in and out. I said yo at one point. You didn't see me say yo?
Yeah.
No, I didn't actually. I didn't see you say
No, you have to actually type it. Yeah.
I was thinking it. I was thinking it.
I did it, guys. Did you see me? I liked the show. I liked it.
But thank you guys all for tuning in. We will be here next Tuesday. Hopefully, baseball is back in session. We're still undecided about what's going on with baseball. The Knicks are a mess, the Nets can hopefully get back into something for us to talk about. And football is officially taking its 5 to 6 month break. Once again, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. We would talk more about hockey, but nobody here likes hockey. None of our fans here like hockey. The Rangers killing it. Islanders making their way back.
That's right.
Islanders making their way back.
Hey, Lou, you sounded pretty racist, bro.
By the way, look please talk about the quiz that we did, by the way, too.
Yes, and we also did a quiz where Chet won the trivia quiz. Congratulations, Chet. Congratulations. You beat Dennis Jackson.
Win, just basically destroyed.
You beat Dennis Jackson, who knows nothing about sports. Boogie was dead, and I wasn't born in the 60s.
Who'd you beat?
He beat
and Steele bailed.
Steele bailed.
Yo, look, I don't know how Boogie remembers anything. If you say the word cookie around Boogie, he might run off.
I still did the trivia. Where were you?
How do you remember?
Because I remember being there, writing the answers down.
Right too.
Yo, if you say cookie to Boogie, he gets PTSD. He starts twitching. He starts twitching.
It was a pretty bad.
No, Lou, he was at the bar like, still, these cookies right here, bro. I said, where'd Boogie go?
And then Twilight.
It wasn't these cookies. It was one cookie. It tasted amazing. This doesn't do the body good.
And then you turned into Rizal.
Right, exactly. But all right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys next Tuesday, and you guys have a good rest of your night.
All right, y'all.
Peace.